What would happen if a single villain possessed the intelligence of Reed Richards, the technology of Tony Stark, the mystical knowledge of Doctor Strange, and ruled an entire country? The result would be Victor Von Doom, a man who has challenged heroes, demons, and cosmic entities. He has stolen nearly unlimited power, conquered nations, and even rebuilt reality in his own image. With Robert Downey Jr. taking on the role in Avengers, Doomsday, the MCU is preparing to introduce a villain completely different from Thanos. Doom does not simply want to destroy the universe. He truly believes he is the only man capable of saving it. And to understand why that belief makes him so dangerous, we need to explore the tragedy that transformed an orphan child into the most feared ruler in the Marvel Universe. Dr. Doom's first appearance. Created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, Dr. Doom made his first appearance in Fantastic Four #5, published in 1962. In his very first story, he kidnapped Sue Storm and forced the Fantastic Four to travel back in time to steal Blackbeard's treasure. Curiously, during that adventure, Ben Grimm ended up becoming Blackbeard himself. Even though Doom appeared in only the 5th issue of the series, he immediately proved that he was no ordinary villain. He already had his armor, ruled from his own castle, and used advanced science to manipulate time itself. The most surprising part is that many of the elements introduced in that first story still define the character decades later. Victor Von Doom's tragic childhood. Victor was born into a Romani community in Latveria, a small Eastern European nation ruled by an oppressive monarchy. His mother, Cynthia, was a powerful sorceress. Desperate to protect her people, she made a deal with Mephisto. But the agreement ended in tragedy. Cynthia was killed, and her soul became trapped in the demon's realm. Victor's father, Werner, was a respected healer. He later died from exposure to the freezing cold while protecting his son during an escape. Orphaned at a young age, Victor decided that he would never allow himself to feel powerless again. He began studying both the mystical knowledge left behind by his mother and the scientific principles he discovered on his own. Victor believed that combining magic and technology would allow him to control the forces that had destroyed his family. That combination would eventually become his greatest advantage. But it would also feed the arrogance that transformed him into Dr. Doom. The accident and the birth of Dr. Doom. Victor's extraordinary intelligence earned him a scholarship to an American university, where he met Reed Richards. The two could have become powerful allies. Instead, Doom immediately saw Reed as a rival. Obsessed with rescuing his mother's soul, Victor constructed a machine designed to cross the barriers between dimensions. Reed examined the device and discovered an error in Victor's calculations. He tried to warn him, but Victor refused to listen. Convinced that he could not possibly be wrong, Doom activated the machine. It exploded, badly injuring his face. Unable to accept responsibility for his mistake, Victor blamed Reed and treated him as the man responsible for his downfall. After being expelled from the university, Victor traveled to Tibet. There, a group of monks helped him design and create his iconic armor. According to one of the most famous versions of the story, Victor placed a metal mask on his face while it was still burning hot. The act made his injuries even worse and permanently sealed the birth of Dr. Doom. Interestingly, not every story agrees on how badly his face was damaged. In some versions, Victor only suffered a small scar, but his pride was so extreme that even the smallest imperfection seemed monstrous to him. This suggests that the mask does not simply hide his face. It hides his inability to accept that he is not perfect. The ruler of Latveria, armed with advanced technology, powerful magic, and almost unshakable confidence, Doom returned to Latveria. He overthrew the nation's former ruler and took control of the country himself. Under his command, Latveria became a technologically advanced nation protected by Doombots, robotic copies capable of imitating Victor so perfectly that even experienced heroes often cannot tell whether they are fighting the real Dr. Doom. But Victor does not rule through fear alone. Many Latverians genuinely consider him their savior. He protects the country from outside threats, provides stability, and ensures that his citizens have access to resources that many neighboring nations cannot offer. However, that protection comes at the cost of personal freedom. As the official ruler of a sovereign nation, Doom can also use diplomatic immunity to escape the consequences of his actions. Any attempt by the heroes to invade Latveria could technically be considered an act of war. This creates an uncomfortable question. If a dictator offered complete safety in exchange for freedom, how many people would willingly accept his rule? His most important rivalries. Reed Richards is Doom's greatest rival because Reed represents everything Victor refuses to accept. He is someone who may be just as intelligent as Doom, and someone who had the courage to point out Victor's mistake. But Doom has challenged nearly every major hero in the Marvel Universe, including the Avengers, the X-Men, Black Panther, Namor, and Doctor Strange. He also repeatedly confronts Mephisto in his continuing effort to rescue his mother's soul. His connection to Tony Stark is especially interesting. Both men are proud geniuses protected by advanced suits of armor, but Tony eventually learned to accept responsibility for his mistakes. Victor built his entire identity around never having to do that. In the comics, Doom even attempted to replace Tony Stark as Iron Man. With Robert Downey Jr. now playing the villain, that connection could become even more important in the MCU. However, Marvel must be careful not to reduce Victor Von Doom to nothing more than an evil version of Tony Stark. Dr. Doom is far more complicated than that. His surprising relationship with Valeria Richards. Despite his hatred for Reed Richards, Victor has an unexpected connection to his rival's family. Doom is the godfather of Valeria Richards, the daughter of Reed and Sue Storm. He has shown a rare and surprisingly sincere affection for her. Valeria respects Victor's intelligence, and, in some stories, she is one of the few people capable of speaking to him without treating him as nothing more than a monster. Their relationship proves that Doom is not completely incapable of love or emotional connection. The problem is that even his most sincere feelings can be corrupted by pride, control, and his constant need for recognition. Valeria also represents the person Victor might have become if he had chosen a different path. A brilliant mind capable of using intelligence without turning every relationship into a competition. Could the MCU explore this strange connection between Doom and the Richards family? Before we continue, leave a like if you are enjoying the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments which Dr. Doom story you would most like to see adapted. When Doom became a god. The greatest example of Doom's power came during Secret Wars in 2015. As the multiverse collapsed, Doom managed to take the power of the Beyonders and combine the surviving fragments of reality into a single planet known as Battleworld. There, he became God Emperor Doom, a ruler capable of altering reality and controlling entire kingdoms as if they were pieces on a game board. And this was not even the first time he achieved godlike power. During the original Secret Wars event in 1984, Victor also managed to steal the power of the Beyonder. Doom is not naturally a cosmic entity, but his intelligence allows him to discover ways of taking power from beings far stronger than himself. That means every cosmic threat is also an opportunity for Victor to become even more dangerous. As authoritarian as his rule was, Doom truly saved what remained of existence in 2015. The problem was how he used that power. Victor created a world where he had taken Reed Richards' place and finally possessed everything he had always envied. Even after becoming a god, Doom still needed to prove that he was superior to Reed. And that reveals his greatest weakness. No matter how much power he gains, his pride will never allow him to feel complete. Why is he more dangerous than Thanos? Thanos possesses greater physical strength. Galactus can consume entire planets. But Doom may be more dangerous because he can adapt to almost any opponent. Against physically powerful enemies, he uses magic and defensive force fields. Against advanced technology, he relies on his intelligence and engineering skills. And if his opponent is simply too powerful to defeat directly, Doom will manipulate them, steal their energy, or prepare a trap long before the battle begins. He combines the intelligence of Reed Richards, the armor of Iron Man, and the mystical knowledge of Doctor Strange, without sharing their moral limitations. He also controls a nation, commands armies of robotic soldiers, and has access to nearly unlimited resources. Thanos arrives as a conqueror. From the beginning, everyone understands that he must be stopped. Doom could arrive as an ally. He could help the heroes defeat a greater enemy, earn the trust of the Avengers, and convince part of the world that he deserves to lead them. That may be his greatest danger. Dr. Doom does not need to defeat humanity if he can convince humanity to surrender willingly. Why is he perfect for the MCU? After Thanos, Marvel does not simply need a villain who is physically stronger. Dr. Doom offers something far more interesting. He can challenge the heroes intellectually, politically, emotionally, and morally. He could begin as an ally, gain the trust of the Avengers, and slowly take control while claiming that every decision is necessary to prevent an even greater catastrophe. The character also connects several different parts of the MCU. He is central to the history of the Fantastic Four. He can rival Doctor Strange in the mystical arts. He can occupy the technological space once held by Tony Stark, and he can lead the entire universe towards secret wars. The greatest concern is that the presence of Robert Downey Jr. could turn Doom into nothing more than a reminder of Iron Man. Victor Von Doom has more than enough history and personality to stand on his own. Marvel must allow the audience to see the man behind the mask, rather than focusing only on the familiar face of the actor playing him. Doctor Doom is terrifying because his worldview contains a certain amount of logic. He looks at war, corruption, political failure, and heroes repeatedly making mistakes, and reaches the conclusion that freedom itself is humanity's greatest weakness. Victor does not want to destroy the world. He wants to control it, and he is completely convinced that everything would function better if he were the only person allowed to make the important decisions. That may be exactly what makes him the perfect villain for this new era of the MCU. Thanos wanted to bring balance to the universe. Dr. Doom wants to prove that he deserves to rule it. But what do you think? Can Robert Downey Jr. create a version of Victor Von Doom who feels completely different from Tony Stark? And which rivalry would you most like to see on the big screen? Doom against Reed Richards, Doctor Strange, or the Avengers? Leave your answer in the comments. Subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so you do not miss our next Marvel story.